Love Notable New England? Show your support and unlock exclusive perks by joining our Patreon community. Membership starts at just $2 a month, which is less than the cup of coffee that you probably buy every morning. So your contribution makes it possible for me to keep sharing unique New England stories and fascinating interviews with remarkable New Englanders, all for your listening pleasure. Plus, you'll be helping to cover essential production costs. Join us today and be part of this incredible journey. Visit patreon.com/Notable New England to sign up. That's patreon.com/Notable New England. Thank you for making this show possible. On today's episode of Notable New England, get ready for some Wicked Lite Bites, feel-good stories from all over New England. Plus, we're going to be talking about New England slang, the lingo you know in New England, but others from far away look at us with sheer puzzlement, wondering what in the world do they mean? Get ready for a fun episode. Hello, lovely listeners. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Notable New England. I'm your host, Gretchen B., and I'm so glad to be back here with you all today. I hope you have been well. January sure did feel like a whirlwind to me. I can't believe we're already into February. And if you recall on the episode that I talked to the Wednesday witch, Laura Campagna. Remember that winter solstice episode? One of the things that she mentioned was to start to notice that longer daylight is slowly returning. And so I was so excited the other day when it was 5 o'clock and it was not completely pitch dark outside. So slowly but surely, spring is coming. I am recording this before the release date of February 2nd, and I am wondering what the groundhog will be predicting for this year. Are we going to get 6 more weeks of winter? Or do you think we're going to get an early spring? I guess we'll see. I've got a fun episode for you today where we're going to talk about New England slang and lingo, as I mentioned in the intro. But before we get into that, let's dig into some Wicked Lite Bites, which are feel-good stories from each New England state. How many of you felt the earthquake on Monday, January 27th here in New England? According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the earthquake happened at 10:22 a.m., just over 6.2 miles southeast of York Harbor, Maine. The depth of the earthquake was 8.2 miles, and people all across New England and as far away as Pennsylvania reported feeling it. And then there was a little aftershock on Wednesday, January 29th, which was about a magnitude 2.0 and 5.5 miles southeast of York Harbor, Maine, in almost the exact same spot as Monday's earthquake. New Hampshire state geologist Shane Sigge said Wednesday's earthquake was likely an aftershock related to Monday's bigger quake, and he said it's possible there will be more. He says the possibility exists for some additional aftershocks. The magnitude of those aftershocks should decrease with time. Information for this story is thanks to Russ Reed and Adam Bartow of WMTW in Maine. Calling all New Hampshire bird lovers. New Hampshire Audubon's annual bird survey will be taking place February 8th and 9th. New Hampshire Audubon is asking bird lovers to participate in the annual Backyard Winter Bird Survey. All people across the state of New Hampshire are welcome to participate, and the data collected helps to track New Hampshire's winter bird population. So all you have to do to take part is count the birds in your yard or at your bird feeder for any amount of time on February 8th and 9th. You would record the numbers of each of the species you see, and then you submit your data online at www.naudubon.org/BWBS. I'll put that link in the show notes for you to click on. Sounds like a fun way to see which birds are hanging out in your area of New Hampshire. This story came from the Concord Monitor. For all of you classical music aficionados in Vermont, the Sage City Symphony in Bennington is going to be presenting a free winter concert on Sunday, February 9th at 4 p.m. It's going to take place at the Greenwall Auditorium in the VAPA building at Bennington College. The concert is free and open to everyone. The program is going to feature a concerto for bassoon and B-flat major by Mozart with soloist Gerald Lanoux, Symphony No. 4 in A minor by Felix Mendelssohn, Bridget Ann Hart, An Irish Legacy for narrator, wind quartet, and strings by Robert Murfold. For more information, you can visit sagecitysymphony.org. Don't worry, I will put that in the show notes for you, so you can just click on that link. Information about the concert came from the Bennington Banner. Isco Spirits, a Providence, Rhode Island craft distiller, has created a new spirit called Lil Rhodey Pizza Strip, which honors the Rhode Island pizza strip. Co-head distiller Dan Neff says, quote, "The spirit opens with an herbaceous bouquet of oregano and marjoram, followed by flavors of bright garlic, rich tomato, fresh bread, and savory Italian herbs that coax your palate towards a comforting and lightly herbal finish. Basically, perfection." Co-head distiller Eric Olson says, quote, "It's delicious in a martini, a Bloody Mary, or simply mixed with Coca-Cola and a squeeze of lemon." So if you want to try the new spirit out for yourself, the official launch party of the world's first ever pizza strip spirit will take place on Thursday, February 6th, from 5 to 10 p.m. There will be complimentary pizza strips from Pizza J while supplies last, and a pizza strip-related burlesque performance by Femme Brûlée at 8 p.m. I love that stage name, Femme Brûlée. That is amazingly awesome. The address for the event is 1 Sims Avenue, number 103 in Providence, Rhode Island. Thank you to Gail Ciampa from the Providence Journal for this story. UConn alum and swimsuit designer Haley Seeger appeared on the show Shark Tank, and she wowed two of the judges who offered her a business deal. Veteran shark Barbara Corcoran and newcomer Jamie Kern Lima offered Seeger $200,000, their business expertise, in exchange for a 20% stake in the company. Seeger's company is called One With, and it is described as offering a swimsuit that eliminates seams and other uncomfortable features typically found in swimwear. Seeger says, quote, "I always knew from the time I was a little girl that I would start a company. I felt I was on a path to build something of my own." She says she came up with the bathing suit after searching for a flattering swimsuit to bring on vacation to Miami. She wanted something that felt one with her body, hence the company name. When she couldn't find it, she decided to create it herself. Information for this story came from Claire Hall at UConn Today. Calling all bakers. Enter your delectable chocolate-baked goods in the February 8th, the Chapters of Chocolate Festival at Osterville Village Library in Massachusetts. Quote, whether you're a fan of classic chocolate cakes, innovative chocolate-infused creations, or anything in between, we want to see and taste your most delicious, most chocolatey dessert. This is your chance to dazzle our panel of judges and fellow chocolate lovers with your baking prowess, says Amy Wolf, who is the library's programming and patron services planner. So chocolate desserts must be dropped off in a disposable plate or dish between 10 and 11:45 in the morning on Saturday, February 8th in the lobby of the library, which is located at 43 Weano Avenue. Entrees must be ready for judging and display. Judging for the chocolate contest is going to begin at noon with free samples given out to the crowd after that. There are prizes for the winning entries, and there is also a separate category for children, so get your kids involved. The library has hosted the annual Chocolate Festival before Valentine's Day annually for nearly 2 decades. For more information, you can email Wolf at awolfe, WOLFE, at clamsnet.org or call the library directly at 508-428-5757. Thank you to Gwen Friss at the Cape Cod Times for information for this story. After these quick messages, I'll be back to talk about New England slang, the lingo we use here in New England that people in other areas of the country and the world might be scratching their heads thinking, what the heck does that even mean? Stay tuned. You're listening to Notable New England. Have a great idea for Notable New England? I want to hear about it. I want to feature the stories you want to explore. Is there a hidden gem, a fascinating person, or a New England story you'd love to hear about? Email me at gbossmusicco@gmail.com. That's gbossmusicco@gmail.com. Drop a suggestion on the Notable New England Patreon page at patreon.com/Notable New England, or you can find me on Blue Sky at Notable NE. Your ideas make this podcast stronger, so let's uncover New England's best kept secrets together. Thanks for being part of the journey. I just want to say I cannot thank you enough for being a part of the Notable New England community. Your enthusiasm, encouragement, and kindness fuel my passion to bring you meaningful episodes. I'm really grateful for all of your support. If you love the podcast, an excellent way to get others to discover it too is to share a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. It takes just a minute, but it makes a huge impact. Another wicked awesome way to help: share the podcast with a friend, a family member, or if you know somebody who loves discovering something new, share it with them. Just one share can open the door for somebody else to join the growing Notable New England community. I'm looking forward to bringing you more amazing stories. You know you're from New England when certain words roll off your tongue like second nature, but the rest of the country, yeah, they've got no clue what you're talking about. Throw in our region's distinct accents, from the broad ah of Boston to the clipped consonants of Maine, and well, you might just get some confused looks. Today, we're going to talk about the unique world of New England slang. Whether you're a lifelong local, a transplant, still figuring out the lingo, or somebody from another state or part of the world who's wondered what the heck we're saying, consider this your crash course. Okay? So let's get wicked into it. So say you're driving and you need to make a turn in traffic so that you can go in the other direction. What do you call that? Many are going to say, well, I'm going to make a U-turn. No. In New England, we refer to this as banging a Yui. That's right. Hey, I'm going to bang a Yui at this light, all right? Not, I'm going to make a U-turn. Okay, that's how we roll here. And speaking of driving, there's a few more things. The traffic circle or roundabout that you come across when you're out and about is called a rotary here in New England. And the thing you turn on to signal what direction you're going to turn, that's called a blinka. And listen, if you're coming to Boston, do not drive an oversized truck on Sturrow Drive, because if you do, you are going to get caught under one of the bridges. And that means you have just been Sturrowed, okay? And that's super annoying. Everyone gets really irritated because basically you've just backed up traffic. The cops have to come to back you out. And there are signs everywhere saying that if you are a overheight vehicle, not to go on Sturrow Drive. But of course, people don't read. And apparently, despite numerous warnings on social media and in the news, it's especially common during move-in, move-out season on September 1st and June 1st. New Englanders constantly puzzle others in the country and the world by drinking iced coffee in the winter. It's very common. I personally just had an iced coffee the other day, and you're going to see people getting iced coffees when it's bone chillingly freezing. And what can we say? It's refreshing. It's nice, you know? And Dunks, or as the rest of you know it, Dunkin' Donuts, or I guess it's now Dunkin', is on almost every corner in New England, and sometimes you get one that's like right across the street from the other or down the street from the other one. So you can't go anywhere without hitting a Dunks. And sometimes if you're in the line, you're going to hear somebody order a regular. And if you don't know what a regular is, it is a coffee with cream and sugar. We also do love our ice cream all year long in New England. It's not just a summer thing or a warm weather thing. So if you're out ordering ice cream, the chocolate sprinkles that, you want to put on top of your ice cream, those are called jimmies. And we refer to the colored sprinkles as just sprinkles. So chocolate ones, they're called jimmies. Colored sprinkles, just sprinkles. If you order a milkshake with ice cream in it, it's called a frap. It is not called a frappe, but frap, as in rhyming with the word trap. If you order a milkshake, you're going to get milk mixed with flavored syrup. But if you want ice cream in it, you've got to order a frap, okay? Got it? In Vermont, they have the ever-popular Maple Creamy, which is a thick, soft-serve ice cream flavored with maple syrup. The Creamy has high butterfat content than... it's a higher butterfat content than regular soft serve, which accounts for its thickness and its richness. And there are other flavors, of course, but the Maple Creamy is really super popular. Now, I've heard people call this dish goulash in other states, but here in New England, we call the mix of macaroni pasta, ground beef, peppers and onions, and tomato sauce American chop suey. Not to be confused with chop suey, the dish made of bean sprouts, bamboo shoots, water chestnuts, onions, mushrooms, and meat or fish. American chop suey is American Italian cuisine, and it was definitely a staple in our house when I was growing up. A dish you may find on a lot of menus at New England seafood places is scrod. Now, scrod is a young whitefish, usually a haddock or cod. It's not an actual fish called scrod. It's like a young whitefish, and usually it's coming in the form of a haddock or a codfish. And typically it's prepared with a buttery Ritz cracker crust. The Omni Parker House in Boston is well known for its scrod, but you can find it in many of the seafood places around New England, and it's super easy to make at home as well. If you need to get a six-pack or other alcohol, you don't go to the liquor store. You go to a packy in New England, which is short for package store. Stores are typically no frills. You just go in, you get what you need, you're in, you're out. You may hear somebody saying, hey, I'm going to the packy to get some scratchies and some beer. You want anything? And what's a scratchy? A lottery scratch ticket. If you go out grocery shopping, the rolling metal cart that you place your groceries in. Yeah, that's not a buggy or a cart, okay? It's called a carriage, and that's what we call it here. And if you want to be kind to your fellow New Englanders, return the carriage to the corral. You don't leave it in the middle of the parking lot like a jerk. We will judge you if you do that. You might get the stink eye or somebody telling you to your face not to be a jerk, using some very colorful language, I might add. The handbag or purse you carry, here in New England, that is a pocketbook, or more aptly, a pocketbook. I need to grab my pocketbook before I go to the store. And as many of you think of a spa as a relaxing place to get a massage or a facial, and yes, we have those spas here in New England, of course. Or maybe a spa conjures the image of like a hot tub or a natural bubbling warm spring where you can soak and relax. But it's also used for some of the convenience stores around New England. Not as much as in the past, but you may come across a convenience store that is called such and such spa. Like in Brookline, Massachusetts, there's one that's called the Brookline Spa. And most definitely it is not the relaxing retreat. It is a convenience store, and it probably was coined that, according to some historians, on account of the soda fountain that would be present in many of them back in the day. So do you remember playing tag as a kid here in New England? Well, many of us call the area that you tag, so you are safe from being tagged by the person who's chasing you, as ghouls. In other words, you'd pick a spot, like, say, a tree, and you'd say, ghouls is going to be this tree. And everyone would know that you would mean that if you tag the tree, the person who's running after you can't touch you. You'll hear kids running around playing tag, and they'll be like, I'm on ghouls, you can't get me, if the tagger is chasing them and the running person tags the tree. So in your house, what is the place where you store stuff or have the home heating boiler, sometimes even the laundry machines, the basement? Well, here in New England, it's called the cellar. And you don't go down to the cellar, you go down cellar. So as a kid, you might have heard, hey, can you go down cellar and get the laundry? That's what we call it. We don't call it the basement or going down to the cellar. It's go down cellar. And lastly, I thought we would end with a term that a lot of people associate with New England, and it is the word wicked. Wicked is used as an adjective to emphasize something epic, extreme, or impressive. So for instance, oh my God, it's wicked cold out. I have probably said that a million times this past week. It's wicked cold. I'm wicked freezing. It just means that it's extremely cold out, or I'm extremely freezing, or that was wicked awesome, like impressively awesome, over the top awesome. So when you hear somebody saying wicked, they're just emphasizing something epic, extreme, or really, really impressive. There's a lot more New England slang that we could be talking about, but hopefully this short list has resonated with New Englanders listening. And if you're new to the area or you're coming for a visit, now you know some of the regional lingo. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this episode of Notable New England. I appreciate every one of you who has taken the time to listen. And for anyone new tuning in, I hope you had fun listening. And I really want to thank you for giving the podcast a chance. I hope you'll all be back here on Sunday, February 16th for another episode of Notable New England. Until then, take care and be kind to each other as well as to yourself.